This week on Hey Other Parents, we talk about strategies for the grocery store, shopping lists, our trip when we were younger, mishaps with our own kids, and what the experts say we're supposed to do. Because it's three of us and all of you. I'm Michael Height.
I'm Sarah D.
And I'm Mike Levine.
Kids don't come with a handbook, so we need your help.
Where do babies come from?
Where do you think they come from?
Is this a kissing book?
Mama! Mama!
What?
Hi.
I learned it by watching you.
There are no rules in this house. Not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
We sent them to the best boarding schools. We hired the best nannies. We did everything right.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
No drinking, no drugs, no kissing, no tattoos, no piercings, no ritual animal slaughters of any kind.
Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
This is Hey Other Parents, an honest, messy, imperfect show for raising kids.
Hey, and welcome back. It's
Hey
us
there.
again.
What's going on, guys?
Hello. I like the first episode where Sarah was like, hello. Like, hello.
It's so good to be back.
We're here. So glad that you guys are here to come back and hang out with us as we figure out this parenting thing. So, guys, this past weekend, I did the old apple picking. We went to this little place in Northport, and I got to tell you something, because the apple picking, you guys have done that before. You drive like 2 hours.
Yep.
2 hours out east, and then all of a sudden, like, you're now sitting bumper to bumper traffic, and then they give you a bag, and you just spend like $50 to pick apples, and everyone's just like picking them up, throwing them away. You're stepping on things. You're picking your kids up nice and high because they can't reach the ultimate apple that's like 8 feet off the ground.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We decided for the first time that we would just go to this place that already has them picked. So you kind of walk in and you just kind of find your way in. You find your little bag, you find your little thing, and then you're kind of like almost done. You get out of there.
Dude,
so we did
that's
that.
Such a smart idea.
I know. I felt bad because, like, the whole thing of like picking them and all, but this was like a nice, medium ground because they had like bags that were ready to go. Apparently, that whole the bushel and peck thing from whatever song that was, the I love you bushel and peck. That's a thing apparently, unless we were just like paying in for the madness. But apparently, a peck is a quarter bushel, and a peck, I guess, is like $25 a bag. So I don't know what that is. But so they had like eight or 10 different apple kinds. You kind of pick the ones you want if you want to just pick a bag and go, or you kind of mix and match and do your own. So we did the mix and matching, so it was kind of like fake apple picking. And then
did you guys
the
go
kids
for a bushel or for a peck?
We did the peck because a bushel would have been $100, so I felt like a peck was just fine.
That
So-
sounds good.
Wait,
Maybe like a
I'm
peck
still
back in the day
confused
would have been
on
like
peck and
$5,
bushel.
but the what? What'd you say?
I'm still confused on peck and bushel.
I know, but like the peck was like a bag that, like, I don't know, like it was like a quart. I don't know, whatever. So we got like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But they had those Jonah Mac apples, which are like the best because they're kind of a little crunchy, a little sweet, a little sour. They're my favorite. I don't know. So we got that. We were ready to pay, and then the kids had their eyes set on the cider donuts. You guys do those?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Those are good.
Did you? One of you guys told me. Somebody told me about putting them in the air fryer. So we did that, and they come back
that's
to
probably
life
Sarah
like
D.
with a vengeance. It's amazing.
No, I
So we
can't
did
take credit
that.
for that. Someone else gave you that.
Maybe it was my sister. Okay,
It
Melissa,
was.
if you're listening, hello, son. So my sister, I think she told me about this. You throw them in the air fryer like 300 degrees for like 3 minutes, whatever it is, and all of a sudden they're no longer wet and sad. They get kind of like crispy and nice again, and a little warm. And then like if you accidentally put some vanilla ice cream near them, that would be okay too.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. So anyway, so we did that.
Little
the
a la
apple picking.
mode action.
Right. Oh, a la mode. That makes it fancy, right? It's almost like our phone number with like late kids. Yeah, exactly. So it's 100% accurate, and I think it's wonderful. And I think all I'm saying is that if you're going to go apple picking and you're going to be rained out in the Northeast like we did for several weeks, not picking the apples and picking up a bag is kind of okay as long as you don't do it at Stop and Shop. So that's what we did. Anyway, so while we were there, I had to tell you this other ridiculous story. We were at this town, East Northport in Long Island, whatever. And my wife and I, the three kids, they go into this art gallery called Firefly Art. It was really cool. And but like the 4-year-old is like, you just feel like it's going to be a disaster, which it turned into. So we got him outside. We're sitting there on the stoop.
Nice.
And cars are driving by, and he hears in the distance like what must have been like, I don't know, like a fire department, like a horn or something. And he comes up with this ridiculous game, and I'm like, all right, I'm game. What are we gonna do? Let's sit. Let's join along. So he sits down. And he's like, all right, if that car drives by, we're gonna say, go pup. And I'm like, all right. So every car drives by. I'm like, there's a car. Go pup. He's like, that's not it. I'm like, but how do you know which one is the car? He's like, all right, we're going to change the game now. He's 4. He's got this all figured out. So now when the car drives by, you say go tree and I say go pup. I'm like, but wait, are we still looking for the same car? And he's like, yes. I'm like, all right. So now we're sitting outside and people are walking by and cars drive by. I'm like, go pup. He's like, go tree. It sounds like we're cheering for like a tree and a dog. I don't know. It was insane. So,
Dude.
Let your 4-year-old come up with a game whenever you're in doubt and you want to make people around you seem uncomfortable. So that was what we did. But anyway, so this episode, we are going to jump into the wonderful land of grocery shopping. Now, I don't know about you guys, but it has become a far different experience going grocery shopping from when like we were like in our 20s and, flying solo or just dating, whatever else. Taking care of a family is a far different experience than taking care of your lonesome. So I think we each have many stories to tell. But the part of this, before I get started, I have to have a little self-deprecation because a few years ago, 4 years ago, when I turned 40, my 2 good friends here, my 2 co-hosts here, came over to my house and we were hanging out around, around the table. And somehow, I don't know how it started, but we were talking about maybe like my wife was talking about how like she's so organized at the house and she couldn't believe that I was organized at work, or at least I faked it, whatever. And then I had you guys, you brought it. I think Sarah brought it up, the clipboard, right?
No, I think Gene did. I think my husband was like,
That's
I
right,
heard about
he
your
did.
infamous checklist that you have in your clipboard because I was talking about it. I was amazed.
So I had this clipboard that I just it keeps my life organized as a Google Doc. I went out of control and just I have all my parts of my day into little segments where I get to write stuff. I don't know. I'm a maniac. So I did this whole thing. And then I was telling Sarah, I'm like, wait, hold on a second. When you go grocery shopping, do you guys have a list? And then mid-sentence, I walk away from everybody sitting down and I come back out with my clipboard because I want to be made fun of some more. So I have this clipboard. What it basically is it's the entire grocery store, but it's in
organized.
Order.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's in the order of the way that you would walk through the store. So I have all the little boxes. It's not just dairy and fruit, vegetable, whatever. It's literally aisle 1, aisle 2, deli, milk section. So I have it all organized. Everyone's laughing and losing their mind at this point because I look like a maniac, which did, yes. So, but this is the whole thing. I had this part, and then the funniest thing is when I had this clipboard and I go into the grocery store. The comments I get are the best because sometimes people think that I work there, and other times people are they just get these looks,
Who is this person?
what's wrong with this guy? I don't know. But we each have our own strategies for the grocery store, and obviously you're starting to see that I'm a crazy person. But the grocery store clipboard comes out every week, and I have when we moved from Stop and Shop to ShopRite, the whole layout of the store changed, so I had to make the list all over again. And then
I didn't realize it changed. Oh my gosh.
Well, one of our coworkers, that we know actually asked for. I was very proud when a certain person asked for it. He's very tall and takes the last puzzle piece from certain puzzles in our office. So you'll know he was very proud of it. So I gave it to him. But it works for certain stores, and then I tried to do one for Trader Joe's, and then that's a whole other thing because that place has a mind of its own.
Yes, it does.
But
Dude,
it's something that I feel like I have to share with everyone. Maybe I'll share the Google Doc at some point.
And that's amazing. I aspire to have a clipboard, but I am the actual opposite, my friend.
You're the kind of person that pulls out you have a gum wrapper and you're I think there's a list here somewhere.
There's a list somewhere in this napkin or even this text message that my wife sends
Love
me
it.
and I don't even look at, but
With little pictures being sent to you, this is what you get. Heinz ketchup, please.
Yeah. Yeah,
Then
make sure you get
Or is it
this
emoji?
one.
You get emoji corn and then a milk container?
Yeah. And then the best is she'll send me text messages with what I have to get, and I never come home with what she sent me.
Lily.
Oh, yeah. So,
You know what? I think I fall guilty with that too, though, sometimes. Sometimes I don't know, maybe I have my paper and then in my head I'm saying it 8 times in a row. And then I see something shiny and I get distracted. But or if if someone texts you and then you're now in aisle 12 or whatever, I'm making this up. You're at the end of the store and then the thing that you're trying to remember is back like in aisle 3. Something happens where you cross through the store, where like you forget that something is down there, and then you walk out and you're like, oh, son of I guess we're gonna have to make by without that really unimportant item like milk for the rest of the week. But like, what? It's just.
But you know what gets more stressful though is when, I don't know, Sarah D, if you remember this, but taking the little wee toddlers to the grocery store and trying to get all the groceries.
Yes, and they're asking a million one questions or grabbing a million one things, and you're like, yep, totally, that's where cows come from, and the bananas, and oh my god, I really need that soy sauce for the recipe tonight, and you're like, it's just mass chaos half the time, and you're dealing with the people going, oh, she's so cute, he's adorable, I know, thank you so much.
Enjoy every moment. And then the thing is I don't know about you guys, but that's where like I'm most likely to forget like the most important ingredient that you need. Yes. That's like in the sauce or like just some major component that is just not going to work without it.
Correct.
Yeah, so then you just kind of throw something in and you're like, yeah, let's see if it works.
Well, you aren't going to enjoy it.
A little bit of this, a little of that.
You aren't going to like it anyway, so it's
fine. Exactly. You're going to like the...
I feel like I'm somewhere in between you guys. Like, I feel like mentally I have the checklist in my head, but I also don't necessarily go in with a checklist. I kind of do like a mass family text. What do you guys want? And then they send me a flurry of texts: Cheetos, Doritos, bananas, yogurt, salads. And it just varies left, right, and center. And I'm just like, okay, cool. And I just go around in the store and start off with produce, and I'll wind up in the dairy bread section. And then, it happens.
You know, that's
like, do you have
a great idea.
I mean, I feel like that would make me lose my mind. I would probably come unglued.
Yes. Once once I am online and someone sends me a last request, and I'm like, too late, I'm online. That's it. You're not getting the hot Cheetos today, dude. Sorry.
See,
Takis?
I think that's actually a great idea, because now you actually have the food going. You know, how many times do you buy stuff that you're like, oh, you think your kids are going to eat, and then it like sits in the back of the pantry for like ever. I don't know if that happens to you, but that definitely happens to me.
Because they ate 20 yogurts last week, and now they eat no yogurts.
Yes, like how does that change? How does 1 week you want all this yogurt, right? And you get all this yogurt, and then the next week you buy the same amount of yogurt. Oh, guess what? They don't want it anymore.
They hate it. They hate cotton candy yogurt all suddenly, and you're like, what the heck? I couldn't keep it in the refrigerator long enough for you guys, and then all of a sudden now we hate them.
The best part, though, is how prideful the pride you have when you come home with it again. And like, you're like, guys, gather around, everyone. Gather around a campfire. Papa or Mama has come back with the orange yogurt that was unavailable last week. And they're all like, why'd you buy that? You're like, I don't know, because you ate it.
So last week. Exactly. Now we moved on.
You know what? I think what we need to do right now is we need to like take a little moment back in time. And we probably need to think about the time when we were younger and what could it have been like when we were shopping with our parents. And I wonder, I tried. I actually did talk to my mom, and I was like, so what was it like when we were shopping when we were younger? And I did talk to my sister a little bit too, but the thing that I most remember are like the big rules that they had, like my parents growing up. And I feel like you guys must have been in the same boat as me, but one of the biggest thing were like cereal, because I don't know about you guys when you were younger, like as a kid, I wanted like the best cereal. Like that's all I wanted. I went to the grocery store, because when we were younger, it wasn't just about the cereal. It was the prize in the cereal. And unless you grew up with no siblings, because we all have siblings, you would get home from the grocery store if you got the cereal that you wanted. And then like you kind of almost had to protect the bounty, because if you turn your back for 1 second, you turned over and all of a sudden the cereal was bulged out because someone put their hand in and got the cereal toy out before you even had a chance.
Before you did. Oh.
Right?
Or the spoons. Do you guys remember those awesome spoons that they would put in the cereal? There was like this once. I would always get
the color changing ones.
Yes. Like you dip it in the milk and it changes the color. Oh my god! Fun. It was amazing.
For the holidays, we should go on eBay and just buy each other old cereal toys.
That's amazing.
There was there were like, oh man, there was like, remember Cookie Crisp had like the little dude that came, like a little figure, and then there was like, I once got a GoBot. You guys remember GoBots? They were like the cheaper version of Transformers. They were like, man, it was like Transformers in hard times. There was once like a GoBots. That was like a Play-Doh he got. I was very excited. But anyway, so my mom had this rule going to the grocery store. And it was like this. It was something like no colors, no marshmallow, and no sugar. So like Cheerios were exciting. But that was kind of it. Did you guys have anything like this when you were younger?
Well,
I think my mom was probably in the same realm of that. We were of no sugar, no marshmallows, no colors, no fun, no garbage, as she called it.
Mike, how about you? Did you have any?
I had a rule to get chocolate chip cookies, and the reason being, all right, if I was good, I'd get chocolate chip cookies, and we get to put them in this cookie jar. Now, this was an infamous cookie jar. Let me tell you, it was a little chef guy, and you popped up his hat, and inside you could get all these cookies that were just like, they were amazing. It could have been a Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookie, but it was inside the cookie jar, and it was amazing. So when we went on these grocery runs, we got cookies to fill the cookie jar. And funny story about this cookie jar. So when we got older, my brothers and I was wondering where this cookie jar went. Who was this cookie jar going to go to, right? And guess who it went to?
Who?
My older brother. He took it. How dare you? But I did find this cookie jar on on like eBay, I think it was, and I found like a replica. It's not the same, but it still has the same look. So now I've put that cookie jar in my house too.
Do you ever like think about like sneaking into his house and like just kind of taking it?
You know what? It did cross my mind. It did.
You swapped it out with
He wouldn't. He would. It looks exactly the same. I got to send you guys a picture. It is like the coolest cookie jar in the world.
I kind of wonder if it'd be more fun for you to take the cookie jar or to like swap out what's in the cookie jar.
The mystery cookies that are amazing.
Double dog dare you.
So besides cookie jars and cereal rules, I did also have an experience. My sister and I were talking. I almost didn't remember this, but she got into trouble because she was taking stuff from the grocery store. So she, so they used to have this section of the grocery store. They still kind of have this in like candy places where like you weigh your food, whatever else, and you kind of like pay whatever like the food weighs, the candy weighs. So they used to have this thing in the grocery store, or at least it was in Walbaum's, where they had like candy in like little like see-through things with lids, and then they had like these tongs that were attached to like almost like phone cords.
Yes.
Like they had like you could barely get it out far enough to take the thing. Yep. So, I guess my sister just wanted to use her hands anyway. So she took things and used her hands. So my mom, I guess, maybe this was like...
that wasn't a sampling, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. It wasn't Costco. So I guess my mom must have just let us roam, which, and hindsight, maybe that's how things were. I guess like Stranger Things when kids were on bikes, just riding around getting attacked by Demogorgons. But we would be roaming around the grocery store, and my sister, this must have happened a lot. Like, I don't know how my mom didn't catch on to this, but apparently she took like the individually wrapped brownies. I don't remember that. I have memories of the cube, the caramels. Remember those? They were like the square cubes.
And they were plastic.
Oh, those are good, right?
Those are best. They were
so I remember those a lot showing up. I don't know where they came from, but now I know. And apparently, my mom caught wind of this, and then she dragged my sister back to the grocery store, and she made her apologize to the management at the grocery store. She never stole again, which was good because obvious reasons, but. Let that be a little lesson for us from the 80s. But
props to your mom, though. Props to your mom.
Life of crime is not.
Ooh, yeah, definitely.
She's like, my daughter's not stealing.
That's a hard one.
That is.
That's hard. Ooh.
Now, what about like treats? Like, were you allowed to pick out like maybe like a special like lunch or like a TV dinner or like a can of Chef Boyardee or anything? Like, was that a thing with you guys?
I definitely went with Lunchables. I don't know if you guys ever get Lunchables. But
I was allowed to get one a week.
Treat.
No.
I got one.
That was a treat for us.
Yeah, but they got weird. Didn't they get weird when they started doing like things that should have been hot, but they weren't hot?
They did get weird, but you know what? They weren't as weird as my lunches from my babysitter. Actually, I would have a babysitter, and she made these ham and cheese sandwiches, and she layered it with ketchup. And I'm like, I would go into school, I would open up my sandwich, And there it is, this bloody ham and cheese sandwich.
No,
and
just
it
sounds
wasn't
wrong.
blood, but it was ketchup. And I'm just like,
Yes.
oh, So I was like, I looked forward to the Lunchables, the little treat that my mom gave us there.
You're like, I'll take cold
Wait,
pizza. That's fine.
Question: Was
Exactly.
the ham, cheese, and ketchup sandwich any good though, or no?
Oh, no.
was it
I
a hot dog?
hated it. I hated it. And I told her every time. And yet I still got ham and cheese with ketchup.
Did it get stuck on the roof of your mouth? I pictured that happening.
Oh,
That's what I'm picturing,
all
too.
the time, all the time. Yeah, it was horrible.
terrible.
It was a horrible, traumatic experience, and I'm scarred for life.
Did you like look around the table, look at your friends, like, hey, who wants to trade today?
Yeah.
Nobody? No? You?
No one wants it. Oh,
Yo, I'll
cool.
give
Come
you
on,
this.
buddy. I see you. I want your rice
Yo,
cracker. What do you got?
What you got there?
man.
What you got there? You got a
What
Rice
do you got
Krispie treat? You
Got
got a
a
Rice Krispie
sandwich?
treat? You want this ham and cheese sandwich? Look at this. Look at this.
Oh,
Don't
man.
look at the ketchup.
All the ketchup.
I
Don't
feel
look
this
at
is like a therapy session for
this
ketchup
is-
baloney.
This is like cathartic. Like it's good.
Right? So I got we were allowed to pick one Lunchable like per week. That was a thing, whatever. But and then it was also and this might have happened when I got like a little bit older, but maybe not too much older because I'm thinking back to this now. But the Chef Boyardee with the what were they called? SpaghettiOs? Were those the
SpaghettiOs.
circles? And the
Yeah.
meatballs.
Yes.
Yes.
It's funny because the way that works is after a certain age, when you have them, they instantly give you heartburn. So it's always supposed to be eaten when you're like a younger kid because those
Is
things
there
are
an
like
age limit on it, like 3 and under?
totally. It's like Legos. You know how like Legos say like 3 to 99, and then when you're 100, you just might as well not play anymore. The Chef Boyardee's what they
not
should
allowed.
say is like 3 to 9, and then that should be it. And then yeah. They're like,
Wait,
oh, you're
can
older,
I
you have
ask
heartburn?
you?
Not for you.
Did
Oh,
any of
no.
you ever eat those right out of the can without cooking it?
No, because we weren't in an apocalypse hunted by zombies. You?
I was in my fallout shelter. I'm sorry.
No, I wouldn't ask that question if I didn't do it either. No,
You're like,
man.
Totally not normal.
Oh, you didn't do that either? Me neither, guys.
Totally. They didn't taste candy or anything like that.
Mike's like, I'm just asking for a friend. I would never would have done that.
Exactly.
I know.
Cold beans? Zombie apocalypse? No, sure,
well,
fine.
no.
You know, it's one of those things that you just wanna try. Not once, not twice. You just want to try it.
So, more
Maybe
than
a couple
one time.
times.
I mean, something tells me you could probably do it and be like, unscarred, like eating a hot dog that's already cooked. But I don't really if I want to. But
Second trials, I like that.
I'm not going to judge you, man. For size.
Listen, man.
I was saying research purposes only.
growing up.
Like
It was very tough times.
there you are, sitting next to Joel and Elle from The Last of Us, and you're like, "Hey, you guys surviving the zombies? Okay, you good?"
I love it.
I mean,
All right. What about the pizza? What about the Elio's pizza or any of the pizza squares that were frozen? No, you guys didn't do that.
I mean, not when I was a kid.
No.
No, so I have to say, growing up, my mom was like crunchy granola, as I call it, before crunchy granola was in. So like we grew our own veggies, we grew like whatever fruits or veggie can grow. She like did everything like juice. I was drinking like parsley and like lemon and apple juice in the morning before I went to school. So like
Wow.
I only had like SpaghettiOs once after we begged her, and it tasted disgusting. And we tried Peter Pan peanut butter once, and that was gross. Like I didn't eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches until play date, and I had to be at least 5 or 6. Like
Wow.
I didn't grow up like on a lot of things. So like I was the kid with the smelly lunch, even up since high school. So I learned quickly like the smelly lunch was not cool. Like one time we were hanging out by the locker, and people were like, "What's that smell? Ew, that smells gross." I'm like, "Oh, totally. That smells so gross."
God, who would bring that? I don't know.
I know.
Who would
I'm
bring
like,
that?
"Ew." I'm like, "That's nasty. Ew." And
Jack,
then
put that lunch away.
everyone went to class. I literally took my lunch bag and I threw it out in the garbage. I was like, never again. So
Oh,
yeah, I grew up a little different. I did have pizza bagels back in the day, like on New Year's Eve, going to my aunt's house. And like
On
that was
one
like really
occasion.
that was like so exciting. I couldn't wait for the little bagels and the pizza. But I thought she made them. I didn't know they're frozen. Like
How do you make them all the same shape? That's
I'm
incredible.
like, oh my god, she's amazing, Mom. And she's like, she'll keep eating them, no problem.
Oh my
love
God. Do you, oh man, what else? This is like total nostalgia trip right now. Did you, oh God, we used to also get the, like I'm a sucker for fried chicken. Listen, man, I feel like I crossed the Mason-Dixon line and it's game on. Everybody watch out. But they used to have the Stouffer's fried chicken, which was like sort of okay. It was like frozen. and I would try to convince my mom the entire grocery store trip to buy the frozen fried chicken. Oh, so good. I mean, now I don't know, but it was delicious.
We used to get chicken holiday on a good occasion.
Ooh.
Oh, do you guys remember that?
The place, like the restaurant?
Chicken holiday. It was like a Massapequa.
Yes.
Oh
my God.
Oh
yes.
my God. Like my dad brought that home, and we're like, "Ooh, a bucket of chicken!" Like,
well, their big thing, they were like skinless chicken or something. It was supposed to be like super healthy.
Yeah, yes, we were. That was a wild and crazy night at my household.
Oh my God, that is amazing. What about Okay, so now let's just jump over to the ice cream section. Now, do you guys?
Oh.
We got Neapolitan ice cream. Did you guys?
We did that too.
Hate Neapolitan.
I hate it.
Me too, because you would. Okay, listen. Like I have a really weird story, and I don't know where this came from. So like at some point, you're in a different boat because your brother and you're roughly the same age. So my sister's 4 years older than me. So she was like, she would watch us. Like, we would go. My parents would go out to dinner, and then like we had the babysitters, and then that went away, and then my sister would like be in charge. So she would do this thing where like we'd have dinner or whatever, and then like you'd break out the Neapolitan ice cream, which was like, like that. And then the chocolate sprinkles. And that was like, that's the life of excitement. So she would break it out and then she would serve in 2 bowls. So there's no one's watching. It's my sister and me. And she's got the Neapolitan ice cream and she would scoop it out. And then she would tell me like, watch this painting and tell me if they move. And I'm watching my sister and I'm like, she's eating my ice cream. And I don't understand it because you could just take more. But she would sit there and she would proceed to eat some of my ice cream. I don't know if she was just like vindictive. I don't even know what happened.
Just to exert her dominance. That just apparently my daughter and my son.
Move.
Oh really?
Just to do it. Just why not? That's what I'm assuming.
I guess she's like no longer able to steal stuff from the grocery store, so she's now just taking ice cream.
No, just exert dominance. Like, who's in charge here.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But I'm not going to directly tell you. I'm just going to make you watch a painting of Native Americans and waiting to see if you notice.
If you notice, I'm eating your ice cream.
Man, weird. Being a kid is weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Question:
Yep.
When you did like scooped out the Neapolitan, did you go across strawberry, vanilla, chocolate?
No, I don't think so.
Or did you go by sections?
I think it was like you would go with like the most popular section. So I think it was probably like chocolate first because vanilla gets like icy and weird after a while. So I think it was chocolate first, then vanilla, and then you just be staring at the strawberry and be like, damn it.
Which is why I say, why buy the Neapolitan? Because like no one ever eats the strawberry.
I don't get it. I think the strawberry must have gotten better.
My brother liked the strawberry. I was a chocolate, vanilla kind of gal. The strawberry, if that even touched anything on my bowl, I was not happy.
So strategically, you probably went, I think chocolate is on the left and vanilla is in the middle, and then and strawberries on the right?
Well, it depends on how you.
Well, which one's next to the strawberries? The strawberries on one side.
Basically,
so is
vanilla's in the middle.
Vanilla's always in the middle.
Oh, so vanilla's touching the strawberry?
Yes.
Yes.
So at some point when you get like desperate, you're kind of like getting like a little bit of both.
Nope, can't do it. I couldn't do it.
You're like, Anthony, just eat this. I'm done with
Anthony's
this.
gotta eat that because he would eat that. He wouldn't care.
You're like, oh, good.
You remember Nesquik? I was always chocolate.
Oh my God! I love the strawberry.
No,
I love the strawberry.
Strawberry? Nope. Chocolate.
Don't hate me, but that strawberry fribble was the bomb.
No, chocolate, Saturday. I'm all the way.
Matter of fact, chocolate just a powder, no milk, no water.
Ooh. Really?
In your mouth.
Okay, hold on. You're gonna judge me. You're gonna judge me on Chef Boyardee out of the can, and you're eating powdered Nesquik. Are you kidding me?
Listen, there was an art to it. You couldn't breathe in deeply because then you choke. So you had to just get it in the mouth just the right way. I
wish I learned from you because when I went years later to New Orleans and had those powdered donuts, what are they called? Those French you know what I'm talking about. Whatever, I can't think of the word. But they would serve those with like tons of powdered sugar.
Oh, the beignets.
Beignets, yeah. And if you accidentally breathe in, you would be having like a coughing fit for 10 minutes because it all go into your lungs.
Should have had Nesquik.
Should have been eating. Apparently, I didn't get trained well enough.
That was like training. That was like the pre-marathon.
See, we should have been friends when we were kids, and then I would have been fine.
I'm still sticking with my apocalypse Chef Boyardee.
Oh man, I don't know. Oh, that tangy candy taste. Ooh.
Well, listener, when you write in, we want to hear what your childhood was like because I'm curious if you were either sitting on the ground next to Joel and Ellie and zombies eating, your Chef Boyardee. sipping on some powder without milk or whatever the heck I was doing. I don't even know. This is amazing.
I love it. We're getting to know each other so well here.
This is beautiful.
It's all about being a kid, man.
Okay, so real fast, what were like some of the like before we leave our childhood here, what were some of the main like staples that like your parents would buy at the grocery store like every week? Like we would have. My mom was a maniac. I don't know. My sister and I were talking about this the other day. There were 4 of us, like there's my dad, my mom, my sister, and I. And my mom would make like a huge package of pasta, like the whole box of spaghetti, maybe more. I don't even know. Like a humongous amount, like a big bowl of like spaghetti and meatballs. And then she would always buy, somehow like maybe this was a thing in the 90s and 80s. My mom would always feel like she had to get an Italian bread. I don't know what that was about. You go to like the bakery up the block or you get to the grocery store and like somehow spaghetti wasn't enough. You have to have a huge slab of bread and butter to go on the side too. And it was just like a never ending pile of like Parmesan cheese and spaghetti and that. And my sister told me when I was younger, I used to go into the spices. And I guess I must have thought I was cooking, but I would put like oregano and the spices and all over the pasta, and then occasionally I'd slip in a little butter because that was good too. Like the butter melts into the pasta.
Oh yeah,
then,
all right, yeah.
So that was you had that. That was like a big thing, right? Like the Italian situation. My mom would cook lots of chicken. It was like chicken this, chicken that. What about you guys? Was it like reoccurring items that you guys would have for dinner?
Well, for me, my mom
was ketchup.
Always... right? Ketchup. Yeah, no, for me, it was rice and beans. I am half Puerto Rican, so my mom would always make rice and beans with chicken, fried chicken. They call it arroz con gandules, right? And they'd also make, and then pollo guisado was another one that my mom would make, another Puerto Rican tradition dish that would always be a staple in our house is just rice and beans, so... but you couldn't go wrong with a nice home cook grandma style rice and beans because my mom's recipe got passed down from her mother and then it passed it down to me. Although I don't make it as good as grandma. So,
But you do make it though. You do make it.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
do make it.
I
and
love
it's
that.
actually my middle daughter's favorite meal.
You were telling me that, right? Wasn't it her birthday like a month ago or so? And she was like, you're like, I'm going home right now to make like rice and beans. I'm like, wait, what? Like from a package? You're like, no.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So it was actually pretty cool. And it's funny because my middle daughter doesn't have any kind of Spanish look to her whatsoever. And she has a bunch of friends and they asked her, what is your favorite meal? And my daughter was like, oh, my dad's Spanish rice and beans because I'm Spanish. and they were like, you're Spanish?
You're like, from Spain?
Yeah, from Spain? Yeah. Nah, she's just got some Puerto Rican roots in her, that's all. So
that's cool, though.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
I love that you're still cooking it, though, right?
Yeah.
Yes, carry on the tradition. I love it.
Yeah, so I like to try to keep the culture alive, keep it flowing,
Oh, I love it. Here for it.
I think we should do an episode like one day of like, I don't know, like maybe like not like telling everyone these are our parents' recipes. Step 1. No, but like just talking about like if you found like a book of like recipes that you had from your parents, like just what's in there,
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
it was really it's really cool to pass down like a recipe, get it from like grandma, especially as people pass on. You still have a little piece of them with you and with your family, so it's really great.
Well, it's funny because like you have to translate it, right? Like when you do it, like you know how it is. I mean, everybody's in the same boat. Like your great, your grandparents, whatever, they're like a pinch of this, a twist of that, a drop of this. You just and then when you ask them like how much, you're like, well,
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean I know?
Yes,
like if you're
it's
asking,
very
you don't know.
It's very true because I asked my mom too. I'm like, oh, Mom, what do I need for the, the seasoning? And she's like, oh, you need like half of that and a little bit of this. And I'm like, thanks, Mom. Those aren't measurements.
Yeah. And then like, just a little bit. You know when it tastes good.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but I don't know when it tastes.
But I don't eat the raw chicken. Like I don't.
Exactly.
You only know after the fact.
Sure, I totally know. All right.
You gotta do like a tester meatball, and then you try it out, and you figure out it's good. We can't stop talking about food because, well, I mean, it's grocery day, but
we love food.
Yeah,
food and
that's what it is.
It is nice,
man.
So now that we have kind of chatted a little bit about our youth, about the things that we did, it's maybe time to come back to the present the time with our own children, the things that we do, the clipboards that we bring to parties, we share with our friends.
Lord.
All right, so we talked a little bit about, now the modern times. You guys, okay, so now when I go to the grocery store, I love to compare this little situation. So I like to go, love my children. I do like to go solo. When possible, I like to go by myself. And I like to go very, very early in the morning when that's possible. Like, I kind of worked it out with my wife. I'm like, okay, if I leave now and I go at if I get up at 5 and I just get out of the door and I get there at 6:30, whatever. Are you cool with that? It's like, all right, fine, whatever. We'll just do that. So I do that by myself, and it's empty. It's lovely. It's wonderful. If you have to go to BJ's too, it doesn't work so well, or Costco, because it opens later. But how do you guys operate? Do you go later? Do you go earlier? What's that?
It doesn't work on the spreadsheet, bud.
Listen, spreadsheets just make spreadsheets allow life to make sense, okay?
Yeah.
Alarm clock.
Spreadsheets make the world just a more simple place.
No, it's funny you say that, because when I go grocery shopping, I too like to go alone, but sometimes, you just can't. And actually this past Sunday when I went grocery shopping, I took my toddler, and going back to what I was saying, taking toddlers could be an adventure, or it could be a disaster. And I made a cardinal error, and I forgot to bring 2 lollipops. I brought 1 lollipop.
So you just started the tour.
Yes, so I'm at the grocery store. I'm online for the deli meat.
Lord.
My toddler's licking this lollipop. She drops it. And I'm number, I think, 48. And the number that came up is 45. So I'm like, oh, no. And guess what she decides to do? She starts throwing a toddler temper tantrum. So because she wants the lollipop.
Yes.
And I'm not going to give her a lollipop off the floor.
Yeah.
Now, any smart parent would have had a backup lollipop. But I chose to bring 1 lollipop. So now I am faced with the dilemma. Do I calm my crazy toddler, right? And go looking for some type of candy lollipop at the front of the store and possibly lose my space in line? Or do I just stay there and let everybody stare at me and say, you know what? It is what it is. This is happening.
Yes. What do you do?
She was going a little crazy. So I was like, all right, I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. And I ran. I'm going down the aisles with the cart, and I go to and sure enough, of course, supermarkets don't have 1 lollipop. They have bags of lollipops. And
No.
Yeah. And I'm not buying a bag of Dum-Dums. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can get her to kind of transition to something else. And sure enough, I saw a balloon, and she was like, balloon. So I was able to give her a balloon, calmed her, ran back to the deli meat, and guess what number was there? 47. I was with enough time. I was able. Yes.
To actually think about the order.
I was able to still make it back in time for the deli meat. Yeah, man. Toddlers, grocery shopping.
job.
This is why, heed Mike's words. Go alone.
With a clipboard.
I don't know about the clipboard. Definitely alone, though.
Oh, man. That is... Now, do you guys remember when you first had your kids? Did you get those? What were those Sarah? Little protective little seat thingies.
I don't see so much of those anymore. That was a big thing back in the day, and now it's
definitely with the first kid too.
You're good.
Yeah, they're with the wipes and everything.
Yeah, I did it with the first one, and then the second one he just got thrown in there with the meats and stuff like that. And I'm like, hang on tight, buddy.
And then it was more of a convenience, because you were like, listen, if I'm going to survive this trip, just sit inside. You're too big, just sit in the basket. We'll just surround you with the food. It's fine.
Sit in the back. My daughter's 14 years old. She still sits in the basket every once in a while. And I'm like, why are you sitting, baby? But,
What does she sit there, on her phone, rolling her eyes at you?
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what she is. Like Wednesday Addams. You have to picture her. Just
not blinking at you?
Yeah, she's like, no, Mom, we need 4 things of blue lemonade because 2 are mine. 2 could be Juju's, but really it could be mine. Nice. I'm like, okay, all right, child.
The best if like I could only imagine like you're doing that and you're like talking to her and she's sitting there in the basket in her phone's squat position and you like say something, she's like, don't embarrass me.
Yeah, basically. She's like,
and you're literally sitting in my cart, hunched over, doing that, and I'm gonna be the one to embarrass
it's
you.
It's like a workout. I'm like trying to steer this thing. I'm like, you're totally light. Totally. This is great.
You know we have room for a third of the groceries because you're taking up a little bit of space here.
I'm like, Sophie, you might have to move your legs there,
anything
buddy.
you do to help would be fantastic.
Anything. But going alone is great. But I do like going with children sometimes because you can't, like, little minions. You can like send them out to like, you get the cheese, you get the bread, you get the this. I like it. And they come back like, this was on sale. I'm like, oh yeah, get that. I'm like, all right, yell tags. As long as you yell tag,
wow.
you got it, kids.
You got to learn. They learn like the little strategies. I like that.
Yes,
so I can't wait to.
However,
you're just getting beaten up.
Until one of the minions takes your phone with him and then leaves it in the sour cream section and then forgets to bring the phone back, but only has the sour cream. And you're like, where is my phone, Juju? And he's like, I don't know. And you're like,
So you're saying is you only let them go for one item at a time? This way you know where your phone might be?
Right. Too many items, no good. Because I always get the phone. So I'm like, I figure something happens. You can call 911 for where you are in the cheese aisle versus me who's like, I don't know. I'll figure out where you are. You know.
So put those Apple AirTags in your children in addition to having your phone.
Find my Apple
basically.
AirTag.
Yeah, but finding your phone in the refrigerator sections is a fun time.
Right? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Do you guys have like do you try to like do that thing where like you like get recipes together like ahead of time, or do you kind of like, I mean, I could imagine like somebody might wing it if he was eating noodles and meatballs out of a can, but
yeah, I wing it.
I'm kind of in the winging it section. I wing it. I'm like, send me your TikTok recipes, kids. I probably go to the supermarket more times I probably should. I was more organized.
Wow, I never realized how much fun I was. So yeah, I print out the recipes ahead of time.
I want to be
That's why I said I aspire for the clipboard.
I aspire. Yes, I want to be just thoughtful in my food shopping, but.
Is this like when you look at yourself in the mirror and like you're not sure, like you still think you're 20, but maybe you're not? Like, do I perceive myself as a different person than I am? I don't know. But yeah, so we go to like, we go to like skinnytaste.com, we go to Sweet and Savory Stuff, we go to like all recipes, we got like our list together, print them out, get the whole jam going. The only thing what I have not figured out yet, which I don't know, someday when I'm a grown up, maybe I'll figure it out, is like, like when you get like, you buy like an ingredient that's like for one recipe, but like you're not going to use all of it. So like, let's just say it's like sour cream, whatever. So you need like half the container and then you have the other half the container left. I don't yet have that mentality where I'm like, well, maybe I could find a recipe that utilizes the other half that I'm going to just end up throwing out in the first place. I don't know. It seems like I have hopes and dreams, but there's probably someone out there listening that maybe they have a system or a website or something that you could use like half of a container of an ingredient to find like another recipe.
Oh, see, that goes back to like the measuring thing. I don't
Like,
really do that.
A little pinch of this.
So like sometimes I'm like, oh, sour cream, kind of like heavy cream, goes in Alfredo sauce. Why not? And I chuck it in there.
See, I wish I was that efficient. I wish.
That's awesome. So
sometimes Sophia notices that it tastes different, and other times she doesn't. So as long as she doesn't see it, we're good to go.
I like that someday you're gonna like give her a cookbook. And it's going to be basically what we were just talking about with our grandparents. It'd be like a pinch of this, a drop of this, sour cream or heavy cream or cream
You'll know
of
how
corn.
it tastes. Don't worry about it.
Go cream.
Yeah, it looks good.
Oh, cream.
You'll know.
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll know. It looks right when it looks right. What?
Yeah, it tastes good when it tastes good. Yeah, you got it.
Oh man. What about the any wacky like do you guys have the Instapot? You guys do that whole thing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just like for stewy kind of like wet stuff. What about the air fryer? Are we in air fryer land?
I use air fryer a lot, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah, do you get the air fryer going?
I would like to use the air fryer more often. However, Gene's convinced that there's a taste that's there, and we bought 2 air fryers. The taste is still there for him. Me, I don't
like a weird background flavor or something like an aftertaste.
He's tasting something that I'm not tasting. So we have 2 of them. They're sitting in our garage, kind of chilling. I have a toaster oven that has an air fryer option, so I do use that.
Okay.
It doesn't taste as weird, I guess, to him. The kids use that, but besides that, I don't really use the air fryer because of this mysterious taste that he's tasting.
It's like messing with you.
I know.
I wonder, like my kids, it's really good for like the quick, like middle of the week stuff. Like if you're in a rush, like for like, you know, a quick night where like maybe you're having hot dogs, or like you have a child, you hypothetically have a child like Ethan who doesn't eat anything and just wants to eat Dino-Nuggets, then it's like it brings those things back to life with the quickness. But yeah, it's a wacky thing. I don't know. It's kind of useful, I guess.
Sophia was obsessed only with the pterodactyl. No,
yes.
right, pterodactyl? The one that starts with
Oh my God.
Right. She only wanted those ones for a while.
I better.
Pterodactyl. She only wanted that.
But she wouldn't eat the other ones?
She didn't want the little T-Rex dudes. Or
Let me
the
tell you
Stegosaurus,
something. I
guess,
better get my
whatever they were.
Dino-Nuggets correct because my son is a paleontologist. He knows all the names of every dinosaur known to man. So if I were to mess one up right now, I would be a dead man.
Listen, I have to just take a moment. Your son, I think, appreciates more of a certain monster that resembles
Big
dinosaur.
Godzilla lover. All right. You know, loves reptiles, kaijus, these big, crazy monster things. And I do too. But he's the way I am with Star Wars. He's that way with dinos and Godzillas. And it's really cool.
Yeah, the passion, it crosses over to his food enjoyment. You know, you got your Tyrannosaurus Rex with small arms.
Yeah.
You know, Soph's got the pterodactyls. You know, with this podcast, you get your powers combined. You buy a bag, you split it up. You give her the wings. You keep the ones with the.
I traded 2 pterodactyls for 1 Stegosaurus, man.
I love this. This is out of control. Really? So this is Hey Other Parents. So we obviously need your help. So maybe if you hear any wonderful excitement that we're saying and you have better ideas, we always appreciate them. I can't think of much else except for maybe, you know, like the little things. Do you guys use any cashback apps? Like iBot is great, something like that. Sometimes you plan out what you're going to buy. Well, okay, some of us plan out what you're going to buy. And then you click on it ahead of time. You go to the grocery store and then you actually get like cash back afterwards if you buy the things ahead of time. Or you plan with the things you're going to buy. So like it's like a loaf of bread or milk, whatever. You click on it, you submit your receipt, you get some money back. You know, little things like that always help. But, you know, it's one thing that I think I'm assuming we all agree on is get those kids to help you put the groceries away when you get home. Because maybe you did the trip, but those kids better come out. Maybe they don't like it, but there is something to be said about get to the kitchen and help out put the groceries away.
If you're not running out with 2 different pairs of shoes on your feet to help your mom
or a diaper
your dad with the groceries, then what kind of kid are you? Or a diaper. Oh, I love.
I have my toddler. She comes out. I give her like one little orange bag, like the bag of oranges or the box, and she helps.
Oh, that's adorable.
She's into it. I'm telling you. I know some people may think I'm a little crazy, but
start them young.
No,
I'm here for it.
like,
start
and
it
you know, it helps out when they get older because now my middle daughter and my son, they just know as soon as they see me pull up from the grocery store and they're not with me, they're coming out there and grabbing those bags. You know, yeah, it's cool.
Aww,
that's awesome.
That's adorable.
Mike, what do the experts say? Was there something you found for?
Kind of looking around, trying to see what the experts say, trying to help our listeners. Like, you know, we don't have the answers here. We're just kind of regular parents, right?
Oh, was it that obvious? I don't know.
So some of the experts said that children learn at the grocery store by like smelling, looking, touching, and asking about specific foods. So like that hands-on experience is always really good for them. And I'm like, I don't know so much, you know? I mean, I get that. I understand what they're saying, but what I'm experiencing, 2 different things. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I'm picking up. Another thing they talked about were children who are involved in the shopping process are also more likely to eat and help prepare the food at home. Again, experiences versus...
I will say though, like getting my kids to like, they don't always commit, but I feel like when they help like make do one little part of it, like maybe it's like helping you mix the sauce or like, I used to do this thing with my kids where like I would take like the ingredients out of the spice cabinets and like make them smell it. They had a fun time with that. Yeah. They like the cinnamon, the vanilla and all that. But I feel like when they help you make like one little aspect of it, they feel like a little ownership over it.
Yeah.
So there's probably
there
something
has
there.
to be. I mean, like even with just bringing the groceries in, right? It's win-win, right?
Yeah, as long as they bruise all the fruit, then it's good, you know.
Oh, yeah. I have that problem too. They love to like. See what I got. Like, it's a big surprise.
Yes.
Oh, you got the Cheetos. Yes, the Cheetos.
Oh my
Cheetos
God.
You asked me for. Yep, totally did. And then I love when you're like, oh, I'll put that in the fridge, you know, or put it in the freezer, and then it's like in the wrong spot, and you're like, oh, all right. Okay.
I'll never find it again.
Or it's rotten now. Cool beans. That's
Yep,
all right.
yep.
But you guys helped. You guys helped. But no, back in the day, like Sophia and I, we used to like make like stew, and that's why probably Gene hates stew, is because like we would put like all these different veggies in there, and
We
like
call it stew.
Yes, and like Sophia would be like, "How do you like your stew, Dad?" And he's like, "What's in it?"
Yes.
She's like, "Nothing."
It's like a serial killer. How do you like your stew?
Nothing but mushrooms and zucchinis and everything that you hate. And he's like, he like dies. You know.
I'll take a second portion,
May I
please.
have some more?
So they take ownership of it. I think it's good for them.
Yeah.
I like that.
Especially when you're poisoning your parents.
Especially when you're poisoning your parents. So I think this is probably a good time to mention that we do want to hear from you if you have a chance. If you have questions, you have comments for us, a topic, an idea, a parenting story, a fail, as the kids like to make fun of us for saying, some sort of experience, you can contact us at the show. Maybe even tell us about an upcoming birthday for your kiddo, and we maybe won't even read it on the show. So there's a few ways to do this. One, you could always leave a message on our Hey Other Parents voicemail. This is a part that sounds so irresponsible that I don't know how I do this. You can call us at 559-375-KIDS. Kids, parents of the 90s, you know what I'm talking about. 559-537-KIDS or 559-537-5437. Good thing we put the phone number in the show notes because you'll never remember that. Or 559-LESKIDS, LESKIDS, if you're feeling French and you want to go fancy. 2, you could email the show at heyotherparents@gmail.com. Heyotherparents@gmail.com. Keep it short. Little tip, something weird. We'll most likely read it on the show. We can't get to everyone, but when we have something that fits a certain topic, we might just be inspired by your email or keep it for that topic. 3, you can join us on the social media verse on Instagram, Threads, Twitter. I don't know if we're going to use Threads. I used it once. It was confusing. But you can join us on Instagram or Twitter at Hey Other Parents. We'll try to keep you up to date with show info, polls, more. If you have questionable parenting moments, please take a picture. And if it's appropriate, we might just include it on our feed. So this part of the show we're going to switch over to is the last part of our show, where we kind of call it Time to Unplug, Parenting Unplugged. It's a sort of part of the show where each of us get to bring one thing to talk about. That could be a show, a book, a recipe, something random like a video game. It could be just about anything. The only restriction is that it's one thing that each of us brings each week. So don't forget that you'll be a better we if you take care of me. So let's see. So Sarah, why don't you start us off? What is the one parenting unplugged thing that you brought this week?
Okay, hold on to your seats, gentlemen. It's the Eleckfun electric lunchbox. It's been life-changing. I've gotten so many compliments in the office about it. Yeah, so it's this little lunchbox. I prepare it 10-15 minutes before I'm about to eat. I plug it in. It warms up my food. And you're like, why can't I use a microwave? Well, sometimes a microwave like splatters or like dries out of food, but this kind of like warms up, steams it up, and it's like kind of brings life back to it. And it's been life-changing. I really like it because also there's sometimes like I want to sit down to eat, but then I'm like, I gotta go talk to this person. I gotta send this email, and the food's still warm for me and is waiting for me when I'm ready to eat. And it's a wonderful little thing. It's made my life happier.
I have seen this in action. It is impressive, and everyone's looking at it. It's got like little USB power, right? Like you plug in like the cord right into the
you can plug
the
it
outlet.
into the outlet or into the car outlet.
Wow.
Yeah.
For real?
For reals.
All right, we're gonna put that in the show notes so people can check this thing out.
Yes. On Amazon.
I am not going to Target to get my
Price.
lunchboxes anymore.
No, it's pretty cool. I've seen Sarah D do this. It's pretty legit. I mean, I'm bringing my banana, peanut butter, honey, and little salt sandwiches every day with my fruit, and now I've been doing this for a month and a half. I think I may have to switch it up at some point, but
Very cool.
It looks good when she brings it. Yes. Mike, what do you got?
So actually this past week, my wife actually allowed me some time to go hang out with some friends. So it was really cool. And what we did was an escape room, which I've never done before. I don't know if you guys ever did an escape room, but it was really cool. Aside from, it was also very stressful because the last 5 minutes were there and I thought we were going to die. I don't know. It was really, really bad.
Love it.
But I loved it. So
and they had the person in there with you, or do you get clues like
Yeah. There was a person in there with us, and they helped us. They didn't give us a lot of clues. They kind of just nudged us along, so to speak. And but even though they nudged us along, it was still very stressful. Like, I took care of the elementary side of things. Like, there was a periodic table on the wall. And I'm like, listen, guys, I am going to stick with the shapes and the pictures. You guys do the periodic table. You figure out the elements and the codes. I'll put shapes and squares together.
I love that.
Okay.
So like, that's pretty cool. Like, that's like a good like adult thing. Because a lot of times like you see those for like kids, and it's fun to do as adults, right?
Yeah, it was really cool. There was like I want to say like 4 or 5 of us, and it was kind of like a group kind of getting to know each other kind of activity, and it was really cool. We had a really great time, and you can imagine with my craziness how crazy it got.
But you could always go on like Reddit. You could look up like escape rooms like in your hometown area, like the better ones. They usually cost like something with maybe like somewhere between $30-$50. It's like an hour or so long, right?
Yeah, it was actually pretty cheap pretty cheap for a good time.
That's cool.
So,
a little team building, little fun times.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
So what'd you do? What'd you do, Mike? You
All
do
right,
anything?
we have to talk about The Rookie. So have you guys seen the show with Nathan Fillion, The Rookie? So my wife, she's like getting into like these TV shows lately where like she'll just find something and then she commits to like a multi-season show. And at first I was like, oh, here we go. Here comes another police drama. Is it like another like, because we have that thing in our family where my wife will watch like a Grey's Anatomy kind of thing where like, it's like, doctors who can't get their act together outside of the operating room, but like when they're in there, they're all serious and stuff. So like there's like a police show, there's like this, there's that, but this is different. I really like it because Nathan Fillion was like in a lot of like sci-fi stuff, and he's like, he's great to watch. So we're watching this show, and like it was one of those things that happens as usual, where like she'll watch the show, I got the Switch in my hand, I'm playing like some video games, and all of a sudden like I'm not into it. What are you watching? Then like 3 minutes later, the Switch is now down and off and away, and I'm like completely like, who's that? Who's that character? Tell me their backstory. What's going on here? So like, it's a great show. It's really good. It's a lot of fun. Nathan Fillion's a really fun character, like a fun actor, or whatever. And it's different. It's just something a little different. He's like, it's just about this guy who's like 40 years old or so, and he decides something happens in his life where he wants to go back to he wants to switch jobs, and he decides that because he was in some bank robbery situation where like he talked the person down, that he wants to change what he's doing and become a cop. So he's like, he becomes a rookie, and he's like the oldest rookie in the business, or like, in the police station. And like, everybody's a character, and they have their personalities. And when they're rookies, they call them boots. Like that's like their like, their slang term for like your person on the job training. And it's really endearing. It's like a nice show. And I know
Is it like a comedy or like a drama?
It's
comedy drama.
Dramedy?
Comedy? I like that.
I don't know. It doesn't have like a laugh track or anything. But what's really interesting about it is the way it's kind of shot.
Yeah.
Like it's serious. Like there's moments like it's like kind of endearing, like sweet, whatever else. But like it has its moments, and a lot of it's shot through like the body cam footage, which is kind of interesting. It gives like an interesting perspective. But I don't know. It's likable. No politics, no nonsense. It's just kind of a good show. But it's good.
Sounds
it's something
cool.
good that I think, like, if you're looking for something a little different, you want a little time, when you're a little parenting unplugged, and you got the kiddies in bed and you're just trying to watch something different and like something that's not too serious but kind of good. I give my wife the wholeheartedly 2 thumbs up because she found a good one. But she finished it today when I wasn't home, and now
Oh my!
and now I don't know what to do with that feeling. But that's okay. I'll go back and watch it.
That's okay.
No, she'll film me. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever.
It's totally fine. It's fine. It's totally
I'm fine. We're fine. We're all fine here.
It's great. It's totally fine. No problem.
But I might go back and watch the last few myself. But it's good.
Might have to watch it.
Real quick, just to add on to that, just to add on to that, have you guys ever like watched a show with your partner and then like you skipped ahead, but you're under the same account, so it shows that you watched the next episode, so that when you sit down to watch the next episode, you're like, oh, let's watch this. And your partner's like, wait a second.
That's really immoral. It's so immoral that if you go to the end of the episode and you let the first few seconds to the last of the episode end and then it resets itself, it goes back to the beginning, you might not have that problem.
Oh, well, or when you walk in on them watching the episode without you. That's never happened before.
No. How could you?
I've never experienced that heartache at all.
My God.
The betrayal. But it was our show, damn it.
You know what?
Totally.
At some point, we're going to have to talk about what we do in the shadows, because you had the reverse where you tried to watch it and the person kept falling asleep.
Yeah,
all right.
Yes.
Well, we are beyond out of time, and I got to tell you, it has been fun stuff talking with you guys about this grocery store thing and all the craziness that goes along with it. If you have time and you dig us chatting and figuring out life, the universe, and everything else, if you have time, we greatly appreciate it if you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. You search for the show, you scroll down, you find ratings and reviews, and if you leave one, we might just read on the show. But we appreciate your insight, especially if the stars are bigger than 4. So I think that's gonna do it. Next week we have some other fun stuff to talk about, but that was it for our grocery negligence. And I think we are going to just take a special moment to thank our listeners for donating to the show. If you want to help support our show to allow us to keep making episodes like this one, we do have a Pinecast tip jar that's right in the show notes. Members will get access to a bonus episode each month. We already have some ideas going for that. We're going to send that out over social media. But before you know it, we're going to have access to a bonus episode to donate our time for the people that donate to the show. We can't wait to explore this parenting again with you next week on Hey the Parents, because it's the 3 of us and all of you. Don't forget to hug your kids and charge your Chromebooks. That's going to do it for me, for Mike, and for Sarah. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Later, guys.
Hey the Parents is produced by Mike Levine, Sarah Desirines, and me, Michael Haidt. I edit and mix our show. Our intro and voice recording was done by the one and only Coltrane. And if you like our show, we hope you'll consider going to our Pinecast tip jar that's right in the show notes. Doing so supports the show and gives you access to an exclusive Hey Other Parents episode each month. You can find us online at Instagram at Hey the Parents, on Twitter at the same address, or send us an email at heyotherparents@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.
We
have done it.
We did it.